got the call at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and just at dinner time, and we got a call to Betty Ann Road. And when we got there, we saw that there was about 10 acres of forest on fire.
I was actually on my way to Vancouver, and I saw the smoke as I left on the ferry. I could see it from the Dawson Ferry Terminal, and something told me to go back. So I got back on the ferry, and there was a lot going on. There were fire trucks and everything. It was very scary. The fire was just beyond the gate, and no, it didn't come this far, but it would have. The wind picked up the fire and took it up above on the ridge. So it was really lucky because it was just because of the wind that it didn't come down my street.
One of the real dangers that we live with here is forest fire. We have 15,000 acres of trees.
This was a piece of land that was clear-cut within the past 10 years. So there was, the area that actually burned was a young regenerating shrub, herb. There were probably tree seedlings here. So it wasn't a big forest. Most of what burned was not large forest, although there are some larger trees that did burn here, and we're seeing a number of them right around us here. The spring after the burn, when this was all just black, so in a lot of the ground you could see lots of stuff coming back, lots of plants, but that following spring it was pretty charred. Everything was black, but it was neat walking around and seeing what was coming back, and some of the things that stood out for me were seeing a lot of the salal, which is the one of the native shrubs that covers a lot of the island. You could see that resprouting from its roots, because a lot of plants actually are protected from fire because their roots are deep enough in the soil that they don't get killed. The material gets burned off the top. When I just look around here, there's things like orchard grass, which is everywhere, and it's the dominant grass you see. It's not a native, it's an introduced grass species which tends to take over an area really quickly. There's tansy, an invasive herb. There's foxglove all over the place. Very beautiful flower, but again, it's an invasive shrub or invasive herb species. And then you'll see things like Scotch broom, which is an invasive shrub in this area, and it loves fire. It'll respond really well after fire. So I think there was a lot of broom here to start with on the roadsides, and that's going to be a real issue in the burn, dealing with Scotch broom, because it tends to smother an area. There are a lot of positive ecological components to a fire. Fire is not really a bad thing unless your house is in the way. But as far as the ecology is concerned, it's a natural part of the ecosystem.
The interesting part about the forest fire is it could have involved the houses and that, but it's a large island, and it was, I forget how many acres that was burning, but for the rest of the island it wasn't that dangerous.
I did think about moving after the fire, but I decided that it was really still a worthwhile place to be, and I've tried to keep as many trees away from my house as possible to, limit the risk of losing my home.
My wife and I didn't ever consider moving off the island because of this. Because really, no matter where you go, there's always a possibility that something will happen. We make compromises living here. We have abundant nature and beauty and an easier pace in life.
The firefighters on South Galliano and North Galliano, we stayed overnight and putting water on the fire.
Most of us think that we're living in paradise. And, I think we are in many ways living in paradise, but there is no matter where you are in the world, there are real dangers.